Perfect.
I have like zero motivation to do any homework.
Oh my gosh, that's been me all week. Like I've been like, because I thought this was kind of like our last week, right? Like in most classes, you have like an actual conclusion week.
Uh-huh.
And then like I look at this and it's like we have like to watch a movie next week and write all this stuff. And I'm like, you serious?
Oh, I haven't even looked.
Oh, girl, we have to watch I don't remember what it is. I
Man.
can't remember the movie. It's like a church movie, I think. And then we have to like I'm pretty sure there's a hangout meeting next week.
Oh.
I was gonna look again, but that's like was my impression. And it was like our final kind of our hangout meeting. And then also my brain is like in a million different places right now. Also, we have to do like this whole like typed thing. And she said the longer the answer to your questions are, the better grade you'll get.
So the more drawn out your answers are rather than concise.
I guess I don't know. This class has been kind of fun.
Okay, well, let's get this quickly so that we can get on with our night.
Gosh, you're so funny.
Okay, so
I'm Macy. She said we need to introduce ourselves because we hadn't been doing that.
I'm Liz. Um, did you like anything particularly this week?
Let me pull up the sorry.
That's okay.
I this week was like super inspiring to me
Yeah.
because I like felt like I needed this in my life right now. Like I'm joining this makeup company and I needed like this like just seize the day, like seize the moment, like go for it, that type of thing. So I felt like this kind of and my husband and I have been talking about how we like we haven't been doing a lot with our time. Like we
Mhm.
sit on Facebook for pretty soon we look at ourselves and it's like been an hour and we've been on Facebook. So this like totally just went along with what I was like thinking about this entire week.
Yeah,
So
I know. I feel like once these 2 weeks are over, I'll be able to seize the day.
how
Yeah.
I know these classes this semester seriously have killed me. Like I didn't think I was going to make it through this semester. Like halfway through, I was like, I am done. And this is my last semester before I graduate. So it's like, you can't be done. But I was like, to the point where I'm like, I don't even care if I graduate. Like, I just do not want to take these classes anymore.
Yeah, so I'm only taking 2 classes and then I'm done like you. But
So exciting.
I have worked really hard to get good grades, but now I'm just like I don't even care. I should just not take my finals.
Isn't that awful? Like, I know.
Okay, let's see. So, one of the ones that I liked from this week was the discussion on time. And because I'm kind of weird and I like philosophical stuff. But wasn't it weird reading about the place in Rome, I think it was, made out of bones?
Yeah. I was like, I had to look that up I know it was true, but right. I had to look that up on the internet to make sure that I was like not crazy for reading that because I'm like, that is the craziest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, that's really weird.
Okay, so uh, The Child of Promise by President Eyring. Did you listen to all that?
Is that the one that we was speaking to a group?
Yeah,
Yes, I remember that.
he was just so sweet, and I'm just like, I think we like in the world right now, we're having a hard time like realizing how important families are. And like that to me just brought up like I'm like, how can you listen to that and not be like, families are everything. He like adores his family so much.
Mm.
And I
Yeah,
think
at my work the other day, we were meeting with a client. So I work at a law firm, and one of the attorneys had me go in to notarize some stuff, and the client was in there, and she was just talking about her family and Easter, and she was Catholic, but my boss is Mormon, and so he was just bringing up family and the importance of it, just in a casual way, and I was like, oh, I could do that, because that's kind of like advocacy.
Yeah,
So
that's a good idea.
yeah,
I I have the hardest time right now, like trying to think outside the box because I feel like all I do is just think about how can I get this class stuff for each of my classes done.
me
So
too.
I've been bad about that.
Once our lives start outside of school, then we'll be able to use what we've learned.
I know that's what I keep telling myself. I'm like, once I actually have a life, like, and I have time to do other things, like, I'll use this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So the questions, let's see. Things as they really are. Where are the questions? I don't even know.
They're the second page on the HoA section.
Oh dear. I swear this week has just been like I can't even keep my head straight. Okay. There they are. Okay. Do you think we can just pick out a few of these because we really don't have to be on here very long because there's only two of us?
So what did you read from chapter 9 that gave you hope for the future? So at the end of chapter 9, if I can find it. Yeah, so at the end of chapter 9, he was telling a story, or not a story, but he was just saying um, that he goes to those colleges, and even at the liberal, very liberal colleges, he still finds students who come up to him and say that they've never heard a an argument like that for marriage, and that they agree with it. And so I thought that was neat and just motivating to realize that we, or I, focus a lot of my attention on the extreme people who already are set in their opinion, and we just have to remember that there's tons more people who are not set in their opinion, and they just need a good argument to get them set.
Yeah, that when I read that, I was like shocked kind of because my brain always either sees people for the family or sees people arguing against the family. Like I have a hard time finding the common ground in that. So when I read that, I was like, wow, this guy's going around to these liberal colleges, which I know a lot of liberal colleges, and you just think that all the kids that go there, they just have that same view. And they totally don't. A lot of them don't. Some of them do, and like that's the more boisterous ones that you hear about, or like that's the ones that like start these debates and all these things. I have like a similar story to that. I was thinking about this when I was reading. So my husband is like for the guns, you know, like he loves that type of stuff. That's like what he eats and drinks and lives, whatever. And there's this like in his law class, there have this like retreat or whatever for all these guys that are thinking that AR-15 should be banned or whatever. And so he went and spoke like with the main leader of this group the other day for like 3 hours about how he feels like yes, like the it should be harder to get them. Like a 14-year-old shouldn't be able to walk in, or like a criminal shouldn't be able to walk in and get these guns. But he still feels like we should have these guns because the only way to protect ourselves is with guns. So by the end of his conversation, this like leader of this group was like, I totally see where you're coming from. And I think that there should be armed guards at the school. And so, like, it's just crazy when you use, like, and Colton was just like, I was really calm and I just said how I like have planned to be saying it, you know. He's like, I didn't jump to any conclusions or yell at them for certain things. He's like, we just talked about it. And he's like, in the end, I felt like it was a really great conversation. So I
Yeah.
think that this class like encourages that. They
Yeah.
want those really good conversations.
Yeah, I think the basis, I feel like, of the class or the end result is just being willing to be in those conversations and state what you think, whether or
I'm
not
not
it
though.
passes. Me
I'm really
neither.
bad at that.
I'm really not good at it. Just because I don't like confrontation or
Yeah.
conflict.
Okay. I really like the question, in what ways does the English chapter divert us from living the area of consecration more consistently? And I think that just like going along with what we're talking, is it echoing really bad?
No.
Okay, good. Just going along with what we're talking about with the family is he just distracts us with little things like our phones, being on our phones too much, or doing something that's just maybe not like bad or breaking any commandments, but it's like slowly it will lead to us breaking a commandment, or slowly it will lead to um not having time with our kids, which I think is so sad. And I think that's how Satan works best, is just through small and simple little ways.
Mm.
So,
Yeah, you can see a lot of parents who, which I have a sibling who's one of them, who like they just send their kids to watch a show and then they go on a different TV or on their phones. And there's, which aren't bad, but they divert from what's most important.
right,
So,
everything's good if it's used in moderation. That's we've been taught that all in the church, you know.
yeah.
So that's really important.
Well, then, let's end with how can we improve ourselves and others by wise use of our time?
I totally was reading that one and I was like, that's a good question. Um, I think I love that, like that question is so good for me right now because I find myself like watching a Netflix show and being like, oh, just one more, it's fine. Like 45 minutes later, and pretty soon I'm like, crap, it's noon and I haven't done anything, you know? And so I think that if I like set my alarm and I get up and I get ready for the day and I'm like ready to do something, I'm a lot more prone to actually doing something rather than just sitting around the house and like watching Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that so my husband has been reading this amazing book and like it's just been tying all along into all of these. But it talks about how if we have like a mission statement and we have like a driving factor, so like our mission statement would be to be a better mom or be a better wife or be a better daughter or whatever it would be. We can set those goals to be able to get there. And is watching Netflix in bed till noon like gonna get me there? No. Like I should be up making breakfast or something.
I know, I think about when I eventually will be a stay-at-home wife and mom, like how I'm gonna spend my time. I'd like
No,
to think I do
you
crafts and
think
stuff.
you're gonna be like this great, like a little Molly Mormon who like crafts all the time and like, oh, I'll have so much time to do all this stuff and like my house is gonna be immaculate. It doesn't happen. Like you should see my house. So I have really good days.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's hard, but you just can't get down on yourself. You have to just be like, it's okay. It's fine.
Hopefully I'll be able to join like a group, like a book club of
Yeah, I
moms.
know that would probably be really helpful.
Yeah, that'd be good.
So,
Okay, well, I think we're done.
yeah, to summarize this, we just talked about how we can use our time wisely and how Satan can distract us from using our time wisely. And we talked about how there's a lot of people, even in liberal places and liberal views, that don't know exactly what the family should stand for or how to raise a family. So it's important for us as advocates to stand up and to be heard. And both of us have committed to working on being heard better and saying more even when it's hard.
Sounds good.
Perfect. So I think next week we do have to meet, but I'm not positive about that because all of our group members, like Allison and Sherry, were like, "Well, we don't have to meet next week." So it was great, like meeting with y'all. But I am under the impression that we do have to meet.
Okay. Well.
So just keep that in mind when you're scheduling your week next week.
Okay.
And I would be fine if we wanted to meet a little bit earlier at a different time, maybe that type of thing. If people wanted to get it done at the beginning of the week, you know.
Yeah.
So we'll just talk to everyone and see. I might have read I just skimmed over the directions, so I might have read them wrong. But if we do have to meet, awesome. If not, it was so great being in a group with you, and I'm learned lots from you.
Oh, thanks.
And if my husband ever is looking for a job, I will contact you.
Yes, do it. Go for it.
So, okay, it was so great. Thanks, Lizzie.
Bye.
Good night.